Your friend Ernie Johnson likes to talk about having a get-to job, not a got-to job.
Yep.
This week, more than any other time of year for you, is a get-to job?
Without question. Without question. And I've told this story a lot since I had kids. They often say, Dad, you have to go to work. And I always say, I get to go to work. And I just want them to understand the distinction and understand that I'm lucky to do something I'm grateful to do. This week, more than any other, without question, it's a place, Dan, where I've come for a long, long time. And, I have friends here at the club that I see every year. And, there's a gentleman named Tony who's been, working at the club for years. I saw him and he introduced me to his nephew who plays football at Augusta State. And it's like, I knew your dad before his hair was gray. And when I had some, and there's something about it. And I get that if you haven't been here, you can roll your eyes at it. But everyone's sort of in a good mood. Everyone's on their best behavior. All the players love it. They revere the place. I've been grateful to call it. I owe my career to it largely, having met Tiger and having him do what he did in '97 and have the opportunity to talk to him about it afterwards and maybe get on the radar of ESPN or whatever. So I don't know. It invites me to be reflective. It invites me to be nostalgic. And gratitude is something I try to put out in the universe all the time. I don't always do a great job of it, but it's really easy to do that this week.
Do you appreciate it even more with age than you did 5 or 10 years ago?
No question, Dan. I think, look, what do they say? Perspective is something you either have or you get. And over time, I told somebody not long ago when they asked me about doing this, at some point you wake up and you realize you're on the back nine of your life. And certainly on the back nine of a career. And I don't mean that this is over tomorrow. I mean, I hope to continue to do this for some period of time. But undoubtedly, you think back and you go, I mean, 97, I was, what was it, 30 years old, 31 years old. Well, now I'm in my late 50s. And I don't know. I don't know if you feel this way, Dan. I don't know how the hell I got here, but here I am. And the end of the runway doesn't feel like it's immediate, but you're getting there. And so undoubtedly coming here and thinking, how long do you get to do this get to job? I don't know, but I'm here right now. And so you just try to be present in that and be grateful in that, because at some point I won't. And I try not to think a ton about that, but absolutely age makes you more aware of and present in the present.
I don't mean for this to sound too paternal, but I am proud of you in general, even though I'm younger than you. Just seeing you carve out your own thing and your own way at ESPN at a time that it can be difficult to do such a thing.
And he didn't carve out the master, just so we're clear.
That's correct, okay. But he carved out a great gig that allows him to spend this week doing something that he loves to do and being paid for it. Your first big national gig was the Golf Channel. You still, I'm reading here, it's reported that you've got a Post-it note on your desk from the end of your time at the Golf Channel, which reads, quote, "I'll never work at ESPN," end quote.
That's right.
Why is that there, and why did you have the feeling that you would never work at ESPN?
So I worked with this producer at the Golf Channel who had come from ESPN. He was sort of this legendary curmudgeon named Lee Rosenblatt. Everyone called him Nate. I don't know why everyone called him Nate, but they called him Nate. And Nate said to me, I just realized as I said that, why the hell they call him Nate? I have no effing idea.
His name was Lee.
No, nickname Nate.
Wow.
How's that work? Anyway,
nickname,
Nate told me, exactly, what is the correct question? I have no idea. Nate, anyway, he says to me pretty early on at the Golf Channel, he's like, you're gonna go work at ESPN someday. And I'm like, I'm not gonna work at ESPN. He's like, I'll bet you $100. And so I wrote, I'll never work at ESPN, signed it. And I obviously lost that bet. And I keep it, Dan, as a reminder to myself, don't say the thing you won't do. I've done it for 20 some odd years now. And I've explained this, and here's the truth. It was imposter syndrome that I had at the Golf Channel. I didn't go to journalism school. I just snuck through this back door. I met Tiger Woods and they put me on TV. And I just kept thinking, ESPN would never want me. Well, so saying I would never do it was like this preemptive thing, like, right? Like, oh, I wouldn't date this beautiful woman, as if that was my choice, right? It was me saying I wouldn't do this thing. And I keep it just as this reminder to myself, well, actually I have, and I hope I've done it well enough that I'm here at Augusta to do my job. And don't say the thing you won't do in life, whatever it might be. And literally I keep it on my desk, and it sits there staring at me. It's old, it's dated, it's from 1996. And but it's good. It's good to have that sort of rudder for yourself. And I think of it often. And I've changed some of the things I've done. I've taken on different challenges throughout time, and I try to remind myself not to just get stuck in a lane, which I think can happen to all of us if we're not willing to do the thing we think we aren't good enough to do.